All right. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Dr. Narine Dat Show. For those of you who are tuning into us for the very first time, keep in mind that we have been doing the Let's Chit Chat with Narine Dat for several years, but now we are rebranding, and that's how, obviously, the Dr. Narine Dat Show comes to play. We appreciate you joining us. This show is very different than what we have done in the past. Basically, what we're doing, we are creating a safe space for positive energy only, and we are selecting guests to be on the Dr. Narine show. So that's a little bit of the difference there. We would love to have your engagement. We would love to have your participation, your input on all of that on the show here. Our guest tonight, this evening, is Ashaay Manu, and we're gonna get into details. We are gonna get to know about his creativity, about the music, but a whole lot more. So, Ashaay, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much. And it's such an honor to be here this evening on this show, especially the remake, the new brand of Dr. Narine. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So what we're gonna do, we have lots of time. We have 2 full hours here, and so we obviously will dive into bits and pieces of you. We want people to get to know you and all of that, and we have questions for you. We have surprises for you. All of that. That's right. Take it as a good thing. Let's take a minute or so and take your time, introduce yourself, look into the mirror, introduce yourself to the folks them who are watching or who will be watching at some point. Let them know a little bit about you, and then we're going to dive into some specific pieces.
Hi, guys. How you all doing? First of all, it's so nice to be here. My name is Ashaay Manu. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. I was born in a small town, Curep, and grew up loving sports and bodybuilding and trying to keep fit and stuff. I came from a family of music. My dad and his brothers and they were professional musicians. They were also very professional people. And growing up, and being immersed in music, it kind of like instilled something in me. But in the genre that I grew up I should say, rather, is the 80s music. And I was a big fan of, rock music and all the 80s song and stuff. And going to functions and weddings and where my dad and the band name is Manoranjan Indian Orchestra, Vinod Manu, Sona Manu, Kisun Manu, Krishna Manu, and so on. They were brothers. They played music together with Premnath Bisoon and some of the greats from Trinidad and Tobago. So we would go to events and stuff, and I would look at my dad. My dad was one of the lead singers, singing the voice of Muhammad Rafi, and admire that. And from then, we always wanted to, become a singer and stuff. And I got motivated when Kumar Sanu Dada came out and he sang Jab Koi Baat Bigad Jaye. And back then I was back in Trinidad because I'd actually moved to Toronto in 1988. And I was back in Trinidad doing the cable TV system. I used to work for the cable TV company in Canada and went back there and actually this song Jabakoi Baat Bigada Jaye is actually a song that was done way back in the day, and it was an English version, 500 Miles. And the Canadians in there, when I would sing Jabakoi Baat, and they would listen to it, and they would be, wait a second, that is like 500 miles. And then I incorporated back, that was like 1991. I incorporated Jabakoi Baat together with 500 Miles, and everybody loved that song, and they thought that I, sounded okay, sounded like, Kumar Sanu. And that gave me the motivation and I took it and I ran with it and started to do different songs and perform places. And then, a lot of things has happened, after that with me migrating to Florida. I've been living here for about almost 3 decades now. This is my home in Florida here. And I was fortunate to be interviewed by Dr. Narine. It's going on actually 3 years now. It was before I actually came back into the music. I took a break because I wanted to get, financial stability and
Mhm,
stuff. I was a guy always in business and I got into my business and stuff over
mhm,
here and worked it for a while. So I took a break from the music.
mhm,
I would do a couple events here and there. and I really got back into the music business. And just before I did my first song, I actually put some things together, and I thought, if I get a good producer and my vocals and my way of life and stuff, put it
Mhm.
together, it should be a good remedy, a good blend for a good product. And Dr. Narayan, you remember when you had me on your
Yeah.
show? That was before I even released the first song, Teri Chunaria. And a lot of things were hypotheticals back then when we spoke, because I really had no substance to
Mhm.
really, run on.
Mhm.
And so now so much has happened, and I want to say, during this couple of hours of conversation and dialogue, we're gonna share a lot of things that has happened since then. But it's been a nice run, and we'll rewind back to that interview that I did with you.
For sure. Well, thank you for that. You know what? You've mentioned something very, very interesting. Because sometimes in life, it is important for us to step back a little bit, focus on ourselves, focus on our growth, focus on our, professional and personal growth and development and so forth. You mentioned about taking a little bit of a break without getting into specific in terms of your, all the specific details. But why was it important for you to, step back a little bit, which is not a bad thing, by the way. Step back a little bit, focus on the things that, obviously were important to you, and then you are back at it again. Tell me about that little break, because that's important, because a lot of the times people keep going, 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 and they're not realize that sometimes, what, we need to pause a little bit, assess things, and then move forward again. So tell me about that break, because this is important. Go ahead.
So basically, I think having confidence in life is one of the number one things. How do you get and how do you acquire confidence? I think you acquire confidence from motivation. You have to be motivated by some things in life. And living here, moving to America, living in America, I had to find my confidence. And the only way I will get my confidence is to try to create stability. And money is a very important part in everyone's life. We need money to pay our bills, our daily life. But I believe that money should not be the motivation.
Mhm.
I believe different things should be the motivation. We should find something that we love with a passion and love and do it with a passion, and everything it's going to set you free. So what I did basically, I needed to get my point to create a business so that I could be comfortable to take care of my bills, to get me a house, to
Mhm.
get the important things in life. And I took a different approach towards it. It's like I'm the type of guy I could only focus on certain things at a time.
Mhm.
I try to spread it around, and I wouldn't give 100% because everything I do and I give 100%. So I created a small business, my logistics business, that I don't talk much about
Mhm.
because I've really, really put a lot of work and a lot of dedication and care and everything into that business to make it happen. So it gave me that confidence and that residual it gave me
Mhm.
to be able to now go back to something that some people think that I do very, very well, which is my singing. But I always saw singing as an extracurricular activity, as something that, yes, I was blessed. I came from a family, but it wasn't my number one thing in life. It was something that I enjoy, something that people enjoy hearing me do. And I had to make sure that I had stability, which I
Mhm.
earned. I really, really worked
Mhm.
and dedicated myself hard, not to repeat myself,
Mhm.
at my business. And up till now, I still do that. Um, so almost 3 years ago when we spoke is when I came back from the singing, because I was really going strong in the singing about 15 years ago.
Mhm.
And that's when I took the break. But then I pivoted now, since that everything was kind of okay in my life at that point in time, financially and
Mhm.
with my business and with my wife and everything. I decided, no, you know what? It's time for me to try to create a name, rebirth a name, or create back a legacy that
Mhm.
my dad, Sona Manu, left, and to create that name. And I came back into the music thing with all joy. And I gave it 100%. So to answer your question, I needed to get that financial security to build
Mhm.
myself physically and mentally in order to pivot into the music career that I'm pursuing right now.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. You've done the right thing there, right? Because at the end of the day, money is important, right? People can say otherwise, and that could be a whole different debate. But the reality is, we live in tough times as well, too, right? And so the bills keeps coming and all of that. So I think you've done the right thing. You step back a little bit. You've kind of make sure that you stabilize things for you, which is awesome. Right, and that's great. And then the good news is that you were able to get back into doing what you really love, which is music, which is such a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. That's awesome. So what I would like to do now, though, just to kind of set some good tone, and just so that we are kind of really, putting the spotlight on you, I would like to feature, a clip, just the voice. And there's a reason why we're not doing the video. Whole different reason behind that. We want to feature you so that people can get to hear you, right? And so I'm gonna feature, one song now that I've selected, and obviously we're gonna play more in between. This will also give you an opportunity to take a little bit of a break, drink some water, drink some coffee, whatever you have beside you there, and then we're gonna get into some really specifics about you, because you have grown over the years. Within the past 3 years, you've grown musically so much without any question, which is awesome.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so let me just feature this, the one that I've selected here, and I have no question. I'm just gonna do this one, and then you will talk all about it after this is all done, obviously.
सर की जो सर से वो धीरे धीरे पागल हुआ रे मैं धीरे धीरे तेरी चुनरिया दिल ले गई Ashaay, Big Rich out of the Bungalows factory. सर की जो सर से वो धीरे धीरे पागल हुआ रे मैं धीरे धीरे तेरी चुनरिया दिल ले गई तेरे ये बिंदिया दिल ले गई ला 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 तुमसे मिलकर ये जाना है होता क्यों दिल ये दीवाना है नहीं कर लिया तुम पाना है क्या प्यार है ये दिखाना है मेरे भोले सनम मेरे प्यारे सनम दीवाने सनम अनजाने सनम बोले तेरे कंगना धीरे धीरे बोले तेरे पायल धीरे धीरे हो बोले तेरे कंगना धीरे धीरे दिल ले गई तेरे ये बिंदिया दिल ले गई
All right, I'll get you to reflect on that. But before we do that, let me say hello to a few people who are watching right now. And these are folks who they know who I am, they know who you are, they've been on, a previous show and so forth. Let me give a special hello to Sony. Thank you, Sony, for taking a sneak peek. And Sony saying, what a wonderful singing, right? So she knows about singing, so that's a beautiful thing. John from Queens, thank you for taking a sneak peek. We appreciate you, the Frivishman, and all of you folks who are watching. And so, obviously, for as I was mentioning last, as I was mentioning, I kicked the camera a little bit here. As I was mentioning last week, I want to connect some dots here. This is not anything new what we're doing here. We've been doing this for over 2 decades, so we know what we're doing. We are just rebranding. So the Dr. Narine Dat Show is rebranding. That's all that is. So I mean, we were speaking just before we got started. You were really good in what you do. I mean, it is one thing, to have the passion to sing, right? For example, but it's a whole different thing, when you're not able to deliver, this song accordingly. And you can do it so well. Tell me about this particular production.
Well, I have to rewind. I know now it's coming to the point where we did the interview,
Hmm.
and Mr. John from Queens has like 90%. He's 90% responsible for making this happen for me because John is a friend of mine. He's a family friend. My wife and Rhonda, they're like best friends. So we knew each other from a long time ago. And, we were talking as I was getting back into the music. I linked up with John and I spoke to him. And John is the one that was so adamant about making the contact with the best producer, Mr. Big Rich, the Pungalung's factory. And he made that contact he tried many attempts, while the live show and stuff. And then he would use his little inside thing, to make that contact. And he made that contact with Big Rich. And that's when the conversation started. And I was like, wow, I could just imagine, doing recording with Big Rich because Big Rich is, he has crowned a lot of kings and a lot of queens and did so great productions back in the day and he still does. And so John made that happen. And when I got into the music, so I contacted, John put us together and I contacted Big Rich and we started to converse about a project. And I just thought, he would choose a song for me and say, okay, let's do this and that. But he said, no, you find a song that you like and let's see if, it's something that I can do. And I chose this song, Teri Chunaria, because the music has evolved. Music has evolved from back then when I was doing it 15 years ago, when I was a kid doing it. And, I had the mindset of back then, but things changed and I had to change with it. So I got in touch with Big Rich and he was current as far as all the music is going. And he said, okay, I told him, I said, listen, what about Teri Chunaria? He was like, you know what? I've never done that song before. That's a real good song. Let's do it. So he marinated on it, as he normally says. And he put together the music and he is the one that really, really brought out the best in me. I mean, I did the vocals. When it comes to the singing, I could probably be responsible for that part of it. Fireshman, how you doing, buddy? Yes. So I did the vocals. I always give it 100%. I want to thank the people, around me who give me that inspiration, who motivates me and like my music and encourages me. So Big Rich is the one, I will give the kudos for making this first production. And it wasn't just, the production. It was the whole, he put me on to DJ Din, who has enhanced music media. He does all the videography and stuff. He flew up to Florida, and we thought we were going to do this whole thing about, Florida, South Florida. And we did the video in West Palm Beach. We did it in Hollywood by the Guitar, the Hard Rock Cafe. We did it in close to the beach. So it was encapsulate everything about that I wanted to put in it about goodness. We did downtown. With the whole project, as I say, moving forward, I did like 10 more songs. So every project had a different experience. But this one has so much of a meaning to me because this was the first ball, out. This was the first song that came out. And I humbly thank you for liking it, Dr. Narine. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. When people are working on anything, any sort of project, whether that be, a song or otherwise, right? We just happen to talk about your singing right now. There has to be some sort of, mental capacity, that we set aside, to prepare ourselves, or there are things that we do to prepare ourselves. I know you do a lot of physical pieces, which is awesome, right? Because these things, it takes a lot of mental strain as well, too, without realizing it. So it could be, even that financial piece can add some, additional strain. It could be, people working, full time or doing a business in your case, and you're still trying to find time to, to do what you love, which is singing. And it really drains you out mentally, right? There's no question about that. How is it that you prepare mentally to make sure that you are giving it your best shot and you're really, getting, good outcomes that you can look back and say, hey, I've worked on this particular project and I have full satisfaction?
Great question. So it will go back to my my exercising. I always advocate for exercise. I advocate. This is just me.
Mm-hmm.
No drugs, no alcohol, that kind of stuff. I believe in a natural mindset. And my business that I do, it's logistics. So you always on top of things when it comes to logistics. Time is a factor. So you kind of like I've been doing it for over almost 20 years now. And it's something with timing. Timing is very, very important. So that kind of helped me moving forward in everything else I did in my life. So when I got into the music, again, when I'm doing something, I put 100% in it. Some people say that I'm a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
I would differ from that. It's a compliment, but it's something, anything I'm doing, doctor, I give 100%, just like everybody else out there. That's the only way you would get the best product out of it. So I always tell people about doing push-ups, right? I was considered to be the push-ups guy when I came on. But why I chose push-ups, like I have a whole gym, my music room and my gym room. I have everything I can do there with my body, a full gym. But push-ups is something, when you exercise, you develop your brain, you develop your strength, you develop your confidence. And I always use push-ups as something that nobody can make any excuse with. You can do push-ups in your office. A sedentary life is no life.
Mm-hmm.
They say a sedentary life, working in an office, sitting on all day, is equivalent to smoking cigarette every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And meta studies have proven that.
Mm-hmm.
You can go down. I can go down right now and do 50 push-ups. I do a lot of push-ups. I do push-ups till I don't feel it no more. I did one time my record. I did 1,000 push-ups in 59 minutes. So I build myself physically and mentally strong with my exercise. So that gave me the confidence. It made me my image look better. It gave me the confidence to stand tall, not literally, no point intended, when I deal with certain things. So I go 100% towards certain things. And people around me in my life, they saw that this has been how I have been for the past many years. So people always see me as that. So this first song, I finance everything in this first song, because I believe you have to have a product in order for somebody to look at and say, you know what, I want to be part of that. But people always wanted to be part of me and have me there because of the way that I do myself. It's not me trying to talk about myself, but me a part to where I reach in my music and where I reach in my life. I always think of my body as a temple and treat it properly. I love a little sweets here and there. I must admit that.
We all
if I
do.
say
We all
otherwise, I'll
do.
be like,
Mm-hmm.
but I do intermittent fasting. I do something 24 hours a day. I don't eat that kind of stuff. But I mix certain things. I don't go crazy. But exercising is very important. So I created a persona that people gravitated to. So this song, as I said, I financed this song and everything. And then moving forward to the next project, I had people who was just waiting for me, Dr. Narayan, to say, um, um, Jason, Mrs. Bacha and Samde Bacha, and would you like to be part of this? So Jason Babulal from the Hibiscus, who currently owns the what is Tropics? Sorry, not Tropics. The Oasis, forgive me.
Mhm.
Yes, he blindly sponsored all my music moving forward. He blindly did that. And he will call me and he will, in the middle of the night, he will say, Ashay, I want you to do this song for me. And he will just say, I will take care of it, this and that. Miss Samdev, Bachin Johnson, she sponsored me also. They would close their eyes. So I formed a team, and these people were so happy to have me close to them because they saw this person who represents um, something that stands for good. No, I'm not sitting here and trying to say that somebody who does good should be praised for that. We all should do good. Should be
Mhm.
something natural. But I guess that I created this person that I believe in being true to yourself and being true to other people. Like be straightforward and be true. So sometimes a lot of people will take our kindness for weakness,
Mhm.
and we would find that, and you would find that they would take some things for granted. But I don't believe in those things, because I'm tunnel vision. I'm focused on what I have to get. I visualize what I have to do. I visualize how it has to be. Of course there's changes to be made to make it happen, but I don't stop at nothing until I get that. So anything that is negative along the way, I just get rid of it. I don't enunciate it. I don't talk about it. I just get rid of it. And by me coming into this music business, I have learned a lot in the last 3 years, I should say. A lot. But again, to answer your question, people were so awesome who in my team, Jason Babulal, we have Miss Sandra Beach and Johnson. I could call names, but as we move into different songs and
Mhm.
different time, because every song has a different experience. And it's
Mhm.
looking back at it now, it is so awesome. It is so awesome. I always say to people, Dr. Narayan, I always say talent is only 40%. The
Mhm.
rest is personality and confidence, confidence that you have to build inside. And those things do not come easily. They just don't.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You with your response, you have presented lots of richness, and I'm going to have to reflect on some pieces here because that's one of the reasons why we're doing this show, by the way, right? To educate folks as well too. You mentioned something about sitting is like smoking. It is so true, by the way, and that's one of the reasons I would say to my staff at work, right? Because I stand a lot, I move around a lot intentionally. Because technically, the job that I do, I can be in front of a computer. Technically, I'm a research scientist, and I'm also
Yes, you
I'm
are.
a lot of different things. I'm a psychotherapist as well too. And so you brought such an important piece here. Yeah, because as a psychotherapist, I honestly encourage people to go and join the gym, believe it or not, right? And the fact that you've said it so nicely that you make the time for it, you do it consciously, it's such of a beautiful thing. And these are
Thank you,
all
doctor.
these are all richness there. And I remember a few years ago, I ran for political roles. I'm a politician as well too, and so I reached out to somebody, and I'm kind of asking them for advice because I knew that you cannot do everything on your own. That's the bottom line. And you know what this fella said to me? He said to me, he encouraged me to exercise and all of that. And I guess he was speaking your language. And the reason he was saying that because somehow it motivates you. In your case, it motivates you, right? It motivates you, keeps you grounded. It gives you that extra drive, which is awesome. And thank you for sharing that because it is so important. Which tells me, and this is our show is not to focus on a negative side of things at all. That's not what we are going to do here. But honestly, based on what you share, you will be a good mentor for many of the singers. Not only because you have a good voice, but based on what you share. Because when you are singing, when you're on the stage, a good presentation is important, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, and you kind of mentioned that, which is awesome. Thank you, thank you. That's awesome. So what we're gonna do, I mean, you've done quite a few songs. I want to, take the opportunity because we're here for 2 hours. I want to kind of feature another one, let people enjoy, and then you will also have the opportunity to kind of reflect and talk about the production and kind of incorporate different pieces when you respond, right? Not necessarily the production piece in terms of recording and prepare vocally and so forth. I like how you incorporate getting yourself fit and all of that. Try to kind of stretch it along that line, so that way people get to know you more. You mentioned also about you are not a perfectionist per se, but you want to make sure you give it your best shot, which is important, right?
Yes, doctor.
All right.
Definitely.
So let's feature another one so that people can enjoy.
बदन में सितारे लपेटे हुए ओ जाने तमन्ना किधर जा रही हो जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए बदन में सितारे लपेटे हुए ओ जाने तमन्ना किधर जा रही हो जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए हमें जब ना होंगे तो आई दिल डूबा किसी देख खड़ा ये शर्माओगी न देखोगी फिर तुम कभी आईना हमारे बिना रोज घबराओगी बदन में सितारे लपेटे हुए ओ जाने तमन्ना किधर जा रही हो जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए Out of the bungalongs, it big rich, them real vibes in the tune. मोहब्बत के ये इंतहा हो गई कि मस्ती में तुमको खुदा कह गया जमाना ये इंसाफ करता रहे बुरा कह गया या भला कह गया बदन में सितारे लपेटे हुए ओ जाने तमन्ना किधर जा रही हो जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए बदन में सितारे लपेटे हुए ओ जाने तमन्ना किधर जा रही हो जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए जरा पास आओ तो चैन आ जाए
All right, so take the time. I recognize a few people in that video as I was looking at it in the background here. Yes, take it away and kind of reflect on that. I think that's important, and try your best to connect all the dots like you did previously.
Okay, great, great. So this song make me smile a little bit because the premise was that, Ashaay sings like Kumar Sanu. He loved Kumar Sanu, he's singing the voice of Kumar Sanu. So one evening actually, I I was practicing for another production, and I was using the karaoke, and this karaoke popped up. And I remember my dad used to do this song, and this is a Muhammad Rafi song. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is looking like a very interesting song. So I listened to it and I tried to do a little bit of it, Zara paas aao tujhe na jaye. And the way he sang that song, it was like a real kind of Zara paas aao tujhe na jaye. And I thought, that, wait a second, I could probably do this, man, and show diversity, that I could, do different genres and different, like Sanu and Muhammad Rafi. So I took up the phone one time and I paused everything and I called Big Rich and I say, I say, Rich, I say, what do you think about this song, man? So he said, send it. So he listened to it and he was like, oh, this sounds real interesting. We could do magic with this song. So moving forward, he sent the music for it and we did this song. And this song was done, I performed together with the Irishman and for Abby. We got Aya back. Abby, they had a concert in New York, and I performed at the concert with Irishman and a whole bunch of different people. And then we went and we shot this video in Passions, all right, with Rondell. And we met everyone, everything just fell into place with Naresh Singh. Naresh Singh did the production for this video. And everything just fell into place. It's like, I said, you know what? Time is going. Let me make this thing happen. So I took the microphone. I'm like, hey guys, how you doing? We're about to shoot a music video right now. Can you guys please assist us and be part of it? And I didn't know much of the people like who were in that video, only to find out there was a lot of prominent people in that video. And that turned out to be really, really well. That video was. And everything just fell into place because we had no plans for it. I started with the part in the airport with the little fighting scene and with the girl. So the person who was supposed to be doing that video, they didn't show up. And I went up to this stranger and I asked her and she did it. And, it just goes to show that, we stop at nothing to get success. We stop at nothing. We in life, I believe, I can speak for my example. In life, you have to touch on everything. There's always an avenue for you to succeed in something. There's nothing like failure. If another human being can do something, we can do it too. And everybody's blessed with talents and, different gifts and this and that, and we put it to work. But listen, there are hidden talents in people that we don't know yet, and we got to explore that. And taking no for an answer, I never took no for an answer. I always believe. And at the end of the day, we even got a guy was passing by with a motorbike. He and his girlfriend, and we flagged him down, and he was like, dude, I went to him, I was like, dude, so and so is the case. And he was willing, he came and he was part of the video. So everything just formed. We instantaneously made everything happen in a matter of us time was ticking. As minutes were going by, things were just falling into place until we created one of the better songs that I did. It was, in many of the charts and stuff. And I got a lot of kudos for that song, for being diverse and singing on Muhammad Rafi. Some people say I should do more. And, but it just goes to show, like, I took failure as not an option for that song. And I remember, after we did that, we have my manager from New York, Mr. Teddy Ali, with Ali's All Star. He and his team, DJ Bass, Sean Bass, and all those guys, Kevin from Fantastic Sound, all those guys came together and we did another fighting scene at the end of the video. And there were people, as I said, I didn't know, and they happened to have other shows going on, and they asked me to do interviews, and they were talking about the push-ups. I did some push-ups right on the street because everything was just so happy, Going back to, not to repeat myself, but when you do exercise and when you get yourself physical and active, and some people think by just walking is something to do good. Yes, walking creates a little circulation, but it's nothing compared to actually putting your heart to a little bit a strain. You have to do that. You have to raise your heartbeat in order to get results in your body. That's how your body burns fat. Intermittent fasting does that. It burns fat. And then if you exercise to a certain point, it's called a high intensity interval exercises. You can do that. Durations of 20 seconds. Just get yourself, but walking a little bit is better than nothing, but it doesn't really do anything for your body. So once you start, like, everything goes back to exercise, Dr. Narine. It goes back to exercise because sometimes, like, in the mornings, I would do at least 90 push-ups before I leave home. And you wouldn't believe, this may sound crazy. Sometimes I would, like 20 minutes after I'll reach a traffic light, and I'll be like, man, I wish I could get outside and go on that street and do 50 more push-ups, just to tell you what exercise does to you. And when you have that mindset, it creates an excitement, and you could never fail when you are excited about something. You know, when you can visualize it and foresee it, and you could make it happen. So don't listen to no one who says that, hey boy, we're having a problem with this. There's always a way around to get a great result out of something.
For sure, yeah. Well, I mean, there's no question that you have, the passion for it, right? And I think that's what makes all the difference for sure. You mentioned a few things, and I just made a note of a couple of things. I'm a person, I don't take notes, because I have a photographic memory. Yeah, I'm not sure if you know that or not. So I normally don't take notes, but I made a few notes here for a reason. You talk about you didn't have any plans for this particular video and whatnot, and I'm glad that you managed to push it through and make it happen. That's a good thing, right? It goes to show that you, in a sense, you are a risk taker there, and being a risk taker is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Um, is there anything else you want to add based on that production there? I mean, it's a beautiful song. It shows your diversity, as you kind of mentioned. You build new relationship with people, as you mentioned earlier as well too. Is there anything else
Well, the
you?
thing is, so not that I didn't have a plan, is that,
Hmm,
so Naresh Singh, right? Naresh
hmm,
Singh did the last couple of videos for me, and he has so much experience when it comes to doing videography and stuff that I believed in him. I
hmm,
believe he could get it done. And he always has this pleasant way that he approaches stuff. And when somebody is pleasant and they're kind, and things work out.
hmm,
I've dealt with people who has been hasty,
hmm.
who have been like they think they know it all, that kind of stuff, and they don't want to give you a chance to be in part of the conversation in your own product. Nah, that don't work like that. That don't work like that. But Naresh, he actually he listens to me. He says, so Andy, you want it this way, you would like it this way. I said, well, Naresh, I suggest we could do it like this, but what do you think? You're the professional. And he would say, well, we could try it and see how it looks. So not so much that we didn't have a plan. I know Naresh had a plan, because I always give him the insight on what I'm looking for. And he
Hmm.
kind of like visualize something, that he would put together, and we will execute it. But I give props to Naresh and all too. But this song actually, so Big Rich, my producer Big Rich, he creates, when you work with him, he creates a repertoire for you. So no one song is going to sound like the other one. So he
Hmm.
wants to build a repertoire so that when you go to perform now, you could carry on a whole concert by yourself. And he was happy that I came up with this song, because this was totally outside the box of what I normally do, and what he normally does. So yeah.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you have your business going on. You do what you love, which is singing. How is it that you balance, your time to make sure that you are focusing on the piece that brings in ongoing, income and all of that, but also, getting the opportunity to really being part of the arts, being creative, which is music in your case.
So this brings me to this point now. Um, so it's been 2 years, and I want to say 7 months since I've been as a professional back into the business,
Mhm.
singing business. And for the last, I want to say, for 2.5 years, Dr. Narayan, I was busy every month. There were times I was doing eight shows I was doing in a month and stuff. There were times I remember leaving my office, um, getting myself together, leaving my office, heading straight to the airport, jumping on an aeroplane, landing, and have to go to the hotel and change and go to a gig
Mhm.
at go to do whatever, wherever the gig was, go to do that gig. Then after that gig, we're gonna start filming, because I don't take I believe there are 24 hours in a day. And if you sleep less, you can get more done. And I check those days. So I leave Friday evening, and I'm leaving Sunday night. And I have all those hours has to account for something. Something it has to account for. And I would actually jog it down, and I'll say, okay, this has to be done, that has to be done. And then get everything done. And sometimes I ask myself, and then yeah, so leave and fly, do the gig, then do the video, then go back to the hotel and eat something, go on my phone and try to post this and post that, which takes forever sometimes, which is a bad habit. And then get enough rest so that I can start again on the concert for the Saturday night, and then I could probably do another project and then fly out the Sunday. So it's about believing. It's about believing that you could get it done, that you have so much hours and stopping at nothing to get it done. And then I remember I did a concert in Ohio, and I flew back from Ohio straight to my business and worked all day and went home. I tell myself, you know what? Every day finishes. Every day comes to an end, regardless of how great it may be, or regardless of how difficult it may be. And I have this support at home here, Shari's my wife. She always there for me, to put things in place and that kind of stuff. But when I leave home, I'm on my own. So to answer your question there, I just believe that it can happen and I have a certain amount of time to make it happen. And it happens. And it's many times too. I remember when I went to Trinidad, I had to put on 3 vocals, perform at the Mrs. Universe, do 2 music videos, and then go. I think we did then we did a concert. It was another time, I think it was, where we then had to go to the promoter and hang out, which is Missy and our promotions, Bollywood bosses coming this July, Missy and our promotion. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, you look at it now, you might tell yourself, "Oh my gosh, that is impossible." But once you're in it, and you stop at nothing, and you just keep, persistent and keep doing it, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you about support, especially when it comes to family support and things of that sort. But you briefly mentioned about the wife supporting you and so forth. Without getting into specific details and things of that sort, um, do you feel supported in terms of doing what you do? Because I mean, at the end of the day, none of us can do things on our own. We need those support, right? Whether that be from family, friends, people in your circle, or otherwise.
So that's a great question. I'm going to be very, very transparent and honest here with that one, because I don't want to mislead anybody. When I decided to go into the music, because it was a big decision. It was a small decision, but yet a huge decision, because this was me now. I've lived a very private life. I've choose the place that I go to, where I hang out, how I care about myself. And when I decided to go into the music business, that means I was going to expose myself to the public, because you can't promote yourself if you're not advertising publicly. And as much as Shari, who's my wife, as much as she supported me in doing that, she always supported me with everything else. We have our differences. She tend to disagree with me a lot about certain things. At the end of it, she ends up right. And you need somebody like that. You don't need somebody to see things the way you see it only. You need somebody to be critical in what you do, so that you can have that debate and come up with a good conclusion. At the moment in time, I hate to hear that I'm wrong, so I may put up a defense, but eventually I think about it and I say, you know what, she is right. So I get that support. So now going into the public now, I'm a guy that takes care of myself. I always believe image. As you mentioned, images are very important. The way you look on stage, the way you speak, the way you address people, the way you interact with people. You're going to meet fans and friends and family who's going to want to have a picture with you or happy. So you're opening yourself to the public, and you don't know what everybody is thinking in their mind. I might be thinking, and one of the reasons I'm happy that I don't indulge in alcohol is because I have a straight mindset. It's I think rational, and I believe that under the influence of alcohol, a lot of indifferent things could happen if you're not careful. Alcohol, it's a legal drug, but it's one of the most dangerous drugs in anything you're doing in your life. I wouldn't stop anybody from enjoying a drink. having a couple drinks, enjoying with the family. It's a way of life. You're here to enjoy life, but there's nothing positive about alcohol. And that's just my opinion. Don't hate me, guys. All right, that's just me. As I say, my music is not for everybody. I do it for everybody, but not everybody. It's subjective, and not everybody's going to love my music. Not everybody's going to love my opinion, but I love you guys. And whatever comes out from me has to be something that represents greatness and good. So one of the good things I know, I tell myself, I say, you know what? How to say this? I'm going to put myself looking really good on stage. I want to be like a star. I want to be that star. I want to represent our culture, the Caribbean culture, that is not just Bollywood culture, but the Caribbean culture, because I grew up singing all kinds of music, and you're going to hear that this year is a whole new year. I'm doing productions now with a new producer now, and it's going to be in a different direction. So I'm really excited about this year. And so yeah, going back to that, being the person I am, I try to keep myself physical. I dress good, I look good, and I play the part on stage, and I sing my song, and I sing my song okay, I guess. People love it. You are going to find certain instances where vulnerability comes in, but I believe in having a strong mindset and thinking about your home. You have to think about your home. You have to think about what you have at home. And if that is not important to you, then the rest is history then. And by me having that right mindset, but not being under the influence of drugs or alcohol or whatever, I was able to do my part, share my love with my fans, with my friends, and then say goodbye, and then go back to the life that I live. I hope I'm saying it in the right way. I'm saying this with all humility. I'm just being transparent and honest, guys. But me coming into the music business created a lot of problems with the people around me. At the beginning, there were a lot of people that were very, very, happy, and they were like, "Wow, that's nice," and this and that. Then all of a sudden, people started to fall away. The narrative started to become different. Yeah, the narratives became different, and you started to walk this lonely road when you realized that, hey, am I doing this wrong? Should I give up? But my mind was succeeding in what I came out to do. I came out to sing again, because back then I believed that I had to work on certain things before I come back out here. And I came out to sing, and nothing and no one was going to stop me. And if I had any problems or anybody coming in between or anything coming in between, I will just hit it aside and move forward. So in that question, vulnerability is there, but you have to be strong, because you have to believe in what you have at home. And you have to respect that. And if you don't, then everything will just fall apart, because being a popular singer and being a star and representing something that is not right, you are not a star. You are a monster.
Yeah. Thank you. And I want to remind you that this is a safe space. So there's no judgment, on our show here, right? So I appreciate you responded the way you did, for sure, because that's important. If we cannot be true to ourselves, like, what are we doing really, right? So thank you so much for that, for feeling,
Thank you.
to respond the way you did. I think you did amazing, and I'm glad that you said it the way it needed to be said. So thank you for sure. You mentioned something very interesting, consistently and throughout the show for the past hour or so. You mentioned about the alcohol thing, about staying away from all of that and focusing on the actual performance. If I'm hearing you correctly, you do not want, that to interfere with you. So my question to you is, like, do you drink or do you not drink?
No, I
Well,
don't
yeah.
drink. I don't drink no alcohol at all. No drinking, no smoking, no drugs, nothing impure must go into my body. Then if that is the fact, then I'll be living a lie. I am here. I'm a singer, I'm a performer, but I'm also an influencer, and I like to influence good things, because the premise is, back then I believe, and I used to hear, boy, take a drink now, boy, take a drink, it will clear the throat. Take one for the throat, man. Take one for the stage. And the opposite was true, because what alcohol does, apart from the biological and
Mhm,
physiological part
mhm,
of it with your liver and stuff, I wouldn't get into that.
mhm, mhm,
Um, what it does, it gives you a fake premise. It kind of like it feeds on your ego. Not everybody, I guess. Some people get depressed, some people get sad, some people get
mhm,
happy, some people get
mhm,
crazy, you know. But I don't think that something that interferes with your mindset could be um good for you in terms of thinking that using it as a medication to go on stage and perform good. Because you may think you're sounding good, but at the end of the day, you're probably not sounding good, or you're not sounding optimal as you can with the alcohol. Because first of all, it dehydrates you, it dehydrates your throat, so you're gonna have to be drinking all the time, water, all that kind of stuff. Um, so I want the kids. I do a lot of things, and I want the kids to hear these things because we living in a different era now, man. We living in the era of the telephone, the era of AI. We living in TikTok and all that kind of stuff, and they say you see things, you see something 10 times, it tends to resonate in your brain, and you tend to think that's the way it should be. But I was taught by great people, and I want to take a couple little things from those things that I learned, and I want to share it. As I say, my thing is not for everybody, but if one person can hear, I one of my sponsors, Miss Samdale Bacon Johnson, she gives scholarships for children. She does she advocates for the Lewy body dementia thing. She doesn't drink, and she doesn't deal with alcohol, all that kind of good stuff. And I look up at her, and we have great conversations. So going back, to the I know I talk a lot about alcohol, but it can change your mindset, and it can create something so horrible. It takes lives. It ends marriages, relationships. It is just, I think, it is overrated, man. It
yeah.
is. Nothing good could come out of it. But if you can control a couple drinks, and for example, okay, Miss Dr. Narayan, you're from Canada. Well, no, even in Trinidad and all over, they have
Mhm,
DUIs right now. You get a
mhm.
DUI. Let me just forget all the
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, the emotional stuff and the
Mhm,
the singing and the physiology and all that kind of. You get a DUI, that is going to stay in your record. My business is logistics.
mhm.
Logistics is my business. If I were to get a DUI, I cannot do my business, and that's my livelihood. Yeah, I could sing a song, I go on stage, and for the 2 and something years, I made a lot of money singing. Every weekend it was a gig, private gigs. It was this gig and that gig, and it was busy. And this year it's going to start back to be like that. Um, but if you get a DUI, your whole life changes. You can't drive. You can't do anything. You can't take someone to it's a serious thing. And I just want to bring awareness. I'm not trying to get people to stop drinking. I just want to bring awareness, to what it does and what I've seen, happen and stuff. And I hate if I come across as, like this is a AA meeting or something, but
No, no, that's okay. I mean, this is your time to share your story, and this is about you. And so I want to remind people that Ashay is not putting, his value on anybody. He's just sharing his piece of things. I don't drink too, by the way. So, but interestingly enough, sometimes I have beer in the fridge when I have, if I have people come and and they want to drink a beer so they can have it.
course,
But
of course.
right. And I do shows as well too. It was me who initiated the Caribbean Dreams concert, and
Wow.
believe it or not, it is a very successful event, and we don't solve alcohol there, and I don't even think of it. But the people who can drink and control themselves and so forth, that is a beautiful thing. And we will leave. We will talk about these topics and things of that sort. So this is not. I hope people are not misunderstanding the conversation here, for sure, because I mean it's people's choice, right? If they want to drink or not drink and things of that sort. But at the end of the day, just to add something that you've said, the states they provided some research because there has always been the debate, is it good for you, is it not good for you, and the most recent research shows that it is not good for you. So we'll leave that for another time. But anyways, Thank you for sharing your piece of things. I do appreciate that. And again, I want to remind people this is just Ashay sharing, his life, the things he does. So he's not trying to put your value on anybody at all. The job that I do, believe it or not, a lot of folks get into trouble and they break in the law after they start to drink and so forth, and then they come to us for therapy, right? So I've kind
See?
of I've seen it
Yeah.
all, right? Because it's either two things here, at least in Canada. You either take folks to the jail, to jail when they break the law, right? But police officers and the law can only handle so much. And at the end of the day, they send them back to us, give them a second chance, and say, "Hey, here's an opportunity for you to restart your life again," kind of thing, right? So, anyways,
Right.
how about we get back to the entertainment piece, and we're gonna feature, another piece, another song of yours, but this time you've done some work with some wonderful singers as well too, and you will have to tell me more about all of this. And the one that I'm gonna feature now is, I believe, is Revati. Ramroop, you've done a beautiful song with her, right? The most recent, I guess, Chutney Queen. I guess that's fair to say.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So let's feature that one, and hopefully people enjoy it. Yeah.
जो भी कहा वो किया हो मैंने तुझे कभी कुछ कहा था जो भी कहा वो किया और मैंने तुझे कभी कुछ कहा था जो भी कहा वो किया सदा के ये रिश्ते निभाने हैं सदा
मैंने तुझे कभी कुछ कहा था जो भी कहा वो किया सदा के ये रिश्ते निभाने सदा
मैंने तुझे कभी कुछ कहा था जो भी कहा वो किया
Touch me and make me feel better. Promise that we'll be together. Don't have a nickel or a dime, I will still make you mine. I will love you up and kiss you up until the end of time. I just wanna love you forever.
You're so sweet my girl, you drive me crazy. I'll do anything for you to be my baby. दुल्हा बनूंगा मैं बाजा बजेगा दुल्हन बनेगी तू मंडप सजेगा
फिर तो मेरी मांग यूं बढ़ेगा वो जो भी कहा वो किया सदा के ये रिश्ते निभाने सदा
मैंने तुझे कभी कुछ कहा था जो भी कहा वो किया
Touch me and make me feel better. Promise that we'll be together. Don't have a nickel or a dime, I will still make you mine. I will love you up and kiss you up until the end of time. I just wanna love you forever.
Watch me, I'm shaking. Your body's calling. Cause tonight all these rules will be broken.
फूलों के सेज पे दो दिल मिलेंगे महकेगी जिंदगी सपने खिलेंगे
हर दौर में अपना प्यार हंसेगा जो भी कहा वो किया सदा के ये रिश्ते निभाने हैं सदा मैंने तुझे कभी कुछ कहा था जो भी कहा वो किया ओ मैंने तुझे कभी कुछ कहा था जो भी कहा वो किया
That was nicely done, by the way. Really nice work for sure.
Thank you.
Yes, and that was obviously fairly recent, right?
Yes, yes, that was
Yeah.
done a few months ago. That together with the other one, I did two songs with her.
Yeah. So I mean, I will talk a little bit about her in a few minutes here, because she her voice is fairly good, you know. As I start to listen to her more, but let's focus on you. You know, we have you on the show here. What was that experience like? I mean, it's something different, you know. I like everything about it, by the way. So tell me about that production.
Well, I want to first start by thanking Jason Babulal for sponsoring that song, and Kumar Auto Body from Ohio, and Tabanka, Trini Tabanka from Fort Lauderdale, and Nash Cargo. Those guys, I want to thank them for making those two projects a really successful one, I should say, because it's really beautiful. When I first so I talked to Big Rich about it, and Royalty was supposed to be in another song, which is Aj Hamade, and this song was supposed to be done with Savita Singh and myself. And it so happened that with the timing of everything, with me coming to Trinidad and Savita not being in Trinidad, um, it was just kind of like not it wasn't looking like it was going to happen. And I was talking to Big Rich, and I was like, okay, so I was like, Big Rich, I'm going to do this song by myself. And he goes, hey, why you don't put Roti in this? Roti sings Bollywood song too, because Roti came out with so many songs, and she's so diverse. She with Padi Karo, and I was a real big fan of Padi Karo, so I'm thinking she's Chutney singer, and but I never spoken to her yet. And Big Rich made that connection, and oh my God, when I spoke to Roti, so my mother's maiden name is Ramrup. And when I spoke
Mm,
to Roti, I was like, "Hi, Roti, how you doing? Are we family?" She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, my mom's name is Ramrup. And, we fun about it. And
mm,
she's one of the most decent, loving, caring individual. We see her, for the people who don't know her, we see her singing on stage, and she's so diversified. She could carry on a show all night. Her personality supersedes her talent. Um, but we don't know her personally. And when I get to meet Rowty, she's one of the biggest artists right now, and one of the most humble artists right now. And working with her was an experience, because not just she articulates things. If you look at the videos, the way she act and the way she move and stuff, she articulates things so perfectly well. It's like working with her, I had to, like, at certain point in time, just take a step back and look at her
mm,
and try to match up with her movements and her ways and her personality. And I remember we had the venue, the Dennis P. Ramdan venue in Trinidad. Is a big new venue that happened. We had that place for a certain amount of hours, and they came and they said, "Okay, we need 2 more hours, and we still had to finish this video and another video." And she kept her composure. Oh my gosh, she kept her composure and got everything done with a smile on her face. So when it goes to Rowty, she is so very successful for a reason. And it was my utmost pleasure to work with her. So again, I, thank Big Rich for making that collab happen. And yeah, man, she's awesome.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. And my apologies, I mispronounced her name earlier. So thank you for clarifying that. I was listening as you were speaking. Rauti is the name, right? I said Rewati. It's two different things.
Well, you're Canadian, doctor.
So,
So you
so,
spell it in the way it was written. Just
exactly,
kidding.
exactly. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, but that's awesome. That's good. I always believe that things happen for a reason. For me personally, it's no coincidence that you can get a hold of Savita, right? And then it turns out to be such a great production. So that's awesome. So
Yes.
beautiful. So just before we continue on with you, let me pause for a couple seconds here, and I'm gonna say hello to a few people. But I also want to remind people that we are rebranding. So you are watching and listening the Dr. Narine Dat Show. The Let's Chit Chat with Narine Dat is gone. We've had a blast, but we are taking things, a couple notch higher. So you're going to see us a lot more. We are very diverse in what we do. We are very knowledgeable. in what we do. So our show, obviously, you will see a variety of different guests and so forth. I want to give a special hello to Uncle Harry. I'm watching all the way from Guyana. Thank you so much from our village back home there. Hope you folks are doing well. Thanks for taking a sneak peek. I'm not sure if the wife is watching or husband, but it doesn't matter who's watching. Thank you so much for taking a sneak peek. We very much appreciate it. And a happy new year to you folks. I want to say hello to Rishi as well too. We have had Rishi on our old show, right? Hopefully in the future we can have you here as well too, Rishi. We're doing the show very different now, so we're not having any and everybody in the show here. We are screening people now. We've learned a lot over the years. To those of you who are watching the first time, do know that this is not anything new to us. And I want people to know me a little bit too. For those of you who don't know me, I mean, we have our own followers and supporters and so forth. But I have over 2 decades of radio experience, so all of these things is not new to us. With a diverse set of skill sets, so you'll see a lot of different things on the show here as we move forward. We will have a lot of politicians and so forth. Because here in Canada, we are going to have elections soon. I know the states they've had their election soon. In Ghana, they are, they are going to have their election as well too, and even Trinidad will have election this year. So lots of different things you're going to see. So Ashay, do know that I appreciate you coming to the show here. And just before I forget, I want to tell you this much, and you do not have to answer me now. I have something that I'll share with you, and I want you to think of it. I want you to speak with the people who are supporting you and all of that, with your wife and other people in your circle, and then you can respond to us. But I'm going to share something with you. So one of the things we have been doing over 2 decades now as well is we have been awarding, folks the Activision Award. And the Activision Award is for people who are active and motivated and really making an impact and all of these types of things. We usually do something annually where we do a whole 9 yard thing and the presentation and all of that. But one of the changes we have made very recently is to do it on an ongoing basis, and we are basically incorporating this into what we do here at the Dr. Narine Dat Show. So that way we can do this, we can ongoingly kind of honor people and recognize people with the Activision Award. And a lot of people might say, a lot of people might not know, of it and so forth. I'm not sure how much you know, but we've been doing it for over 2 decades now. Something initiated by me, and if you don't know this, just so you know that it has a lot of value to it, because this show is not about me; it's about you. But I want you. I'm getting to the point here in a second here. So I am the most decorated individual in Canadian history, and so what that means is our award, the Activision Award, is very prestigious. So what we would like to do, we would like to honor you with the Activision Award
Oh my
for
God.
your contribution to the music, for your consistency, for standing out, and being that unique self of you. In order for us to do that, you have to say to us that you are going to accept that, right? But you don't have to answer us now. You take your time, have a chat with the people who support you, and we will find a way to kind of honor you. I will explain to you more, and hopefully we kind of do it in a creative way. But something I want to put out there so that you know, right? So
Dr. Narayan, I want
yeah.
to say this. I will definitely, definitely accept that award coming from you, Dr. Narayan.
So you're not going to
And
talk to the wife?
the people in my circle, they support me and they are responsible for making me where I am today, morally. And, I want to, on behalf of them, I want to thank you for even considering me for that award, Doctor, honestly.
So, well, thank you for that. And so, we actually, we have like I said to you, we have like strong, knowledgeable people and all of that. So have done our own individual research. There are many ways for people to go about doing their award thing. So usually, name is going to be sent in, supporting documents, and there's a screening process, so to speak. But also, because we have knowledge with diversity, equity, inclusion, and all of that, and because people have that research skills and things of that sort. There are different ways for us to dig and see who will be fitting people, right? And believe it or not, we have even though we live in Canada here, we have presented award to folks in Washington D.C., all of that in the past. Not necessarily in the musical piece. There's a reason why it's called Activision. So it fits into any and everything. So we usually give the award to give it out during International Women's Day. All of these types of things because it fits so perfectly. And so, yes, and so we are happy to hear that you are going to accept that. So, how does it feel that we have selected you to give you this honor? And keep in mind, you have earned this. So, this is not something we're giving you because we are expecting something in return. This is not what we do. We have a track record of doing all of these things. If you dig deep, by the way, you have earned this. So, this has nothing to do with us. We are just highlighting that and we're just presenting it to people who we feel is deserving based on our research. How does it feel that, based on what you're hearing?
Dr. Naran, I want to say that a bunch of emotions just hit my head and hit my heart because a lot of things that I know the caliber and of that award for what you explained to me. I mean, I would get more details on it, but I'm shocked right now, but I'm very, very grateful. Why? Because everything I do with consideration. I do with thinking about the next person. I live my life, Dr. Narayan, in I live my life in treating people the way that I would love to be treated. And I go about on a daily basis and I see a lot of things that could be changed with life and society. And I'm like, Ashaay, who are you? You are not supposed to change this. I said, but listen, it could start by saying good morning. It does not have to be about music and singing. It's about being the individual that you are. When somebody tell me good morning, a stranger tells me say good morning to me, that elates my whole day. I'm just so happy. And sometimes you say good morning to someone and they may not answer you back. Probably they didn't understand what you say. Probably their mind is very far. You don't know what they're going through. So we are not judging people, but we could still say good morning to everybody we meet and we could share that love to people because that's the only way that this world is going to be a better place. And it starts with you and me. So going back to that award, this is how I live my life. I live my life loving things, loving people, loving wildlife, wild animals, because the opposite, think about the opportunity we have of life. We have life to live in this world. And think about the person who died yesterday. They don't have this life. Or the person who, life on the whole is a gift. And I'm saying these things, I'm blindly saying these things, but I'm speaking from my heart right now. Not so much from a musical point of view, but I just want to say I'm very, very grateful for that because I live my life and I want the next generation to at least see one thing in we as artists, because as artists, we to go on stage and perform for 1 hour and a half or an hour, it's very, very physical, difficult mentally, and to come out and deal with everybody and to live a life as an artist. But it's hard work they put out there. They do a music video and they look good and we look at them and we say, oh, look at this and that and with the gold and this and gold. But no, it's part of the premise, it's part of the act. So everybody, to all the artists out there, they work very, very hard and they deserve that love from people because they're putting out that gift that they got from God to people. And that's what I do. So going back to the point, I'm very, very grateful. I'm blown away that you guys will consider me. But that really goes to show not that we do things for rewards, as I was saying. We should do things because that's the way we should do good things because that's the way life's supposed to be. That's the way we learn it. But considering you guys going through the whole process and thinking of me, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will continue to be how I am and be better to share that love to every one of my fans, my friends, my family. This only inspires me to share more on that. I could go on and on, but I wouldn't continue because I'm so overwhelmed by that premise that you decide to give me that award. And my wife is going to be so happy. So I'm the people around me. Very, very happy for that. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. So we are going to connect obviously after I'll kind of explain to you how it works. I'll kind of give you some details and whatnot, but do know that you are on that list. The fact that you are accepting, then we'll kind of take it from there. So thank you for that. So obviously, anything we do in life, sometimes things will go smooth, sometimes it will be challenging, and things of that sort. But because we are talking about, your creativity, your singing and all of that, I want to ask you a question specifically when it comes to, this whole singing thing. I would think that it is fair to say, there are lots of challenges, right? When it comes to this whole singing piece, not only the production, but getting things out there, you're mixing and mingle with different people, all of that kind of thing. What would you say that is one or two of the most challenging thing that you have experienced, throughout your career so far? And what is it that you have done, to overcome those challenges?
Again, I'm very transparent and I'm here to tell the truth. If it was so, I would say I've experienced no challenges. But to be honest, the challenges that I experience is people's word. I'm the type of person, if I'm doing something and I give somebody my word and I say, okay, this is when we go. I'm not asking for it to be done, but I'm asking, when are you going to be ready with this project that we're doing here? Maybe building a house, maybe a contract that I have coming up, maybe music, maybe something. And I tell that individual, or I tell that team that I am not putting any time frame on this, but I want you to tell me when I can expect it. I want a ballpark. So they give me a date. So I have other things now I have to prepare to get. If it's my job, I have to get a couple of trucks together for that date or for that month of job. Or if it's something else, I have to get certain things ready. So once I get that go ahead from you. So one of the challenges that I experience is people not living up to their word. And that is something that really, really annoys me. Because if you can depend on somebody, because you have a whole bunch of people that you're dealing with on the back end that you now have to hire, or you have to do, or you have to pay, or they want a deposit. So everything based on what the word that I got. So people's word is one I have. Other than that, no challenges, because I'm a guy that lives for challenges. I mean, I talk about a lot of things in the past, but I'm a guy love to dance too. I love, if I go somewhere, I don't go each and everywhere, but whenever I go somewhere and there's a dance floor and they're playing songs that I like, I would just go on the dance floor and just start a dance. I know that has nothing to do with the question you asked, but just to put things, not to be
Yeah,
on
for
the
sure. Hmm.
strong side all the time. I'm a very jovial, happy
Hmm.
dancer. Come, let's dance. Going back to the 80s, closing my eyes and just reminiscing back to that point in time with that song, that was particular song I played. But when it comes to challenges, I wish that people could honor their word. That is all I ask.
Hmm. Well, that's very fair. And I want to remind you that this is a safe space, but at the same time, I want you to only share things that you're comfortable sharing, right? Because people watching, people listening, and we do not want people to look at things from a negative lens here. So thank you so much, for responding. We do appreciate that. Um, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Um, 5 years. Well, 5 years from now, I should uh, I should just be doing shows, doing concerts,
Mm.
because the work that I've put in the past. No, that was a general question, right? That wasn't a question
Mhm.
directed to music, was it?
General, so it could be yeah, generally where do you see yourself 5 years from now? So it could be stuff related to music, there's no
Right.
right or wrong. So this is about you.
Okay. So me generally, I at all, right. I think to be retired mentally meaning that I shouldn't have anything to worry about.
Hmm.
That I would have put things in place, that I have residuals and I have my investments will mature and manifest itself. My songs that I did, I could do more concerts because I'm going to bring out at least 4 or 5 songs a year now, because I believe as we get older in life, we should be more live within the means and be more secured. So at 5 years from now, I should be very, very secured if things go as planned, and I should just be enjoying all the hard work that I put forward. So, specifically, I can see myself on stage like Kumar Sanudara singing to a big, big audience with some nice song.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, thank you so much for that. Do you have any recollection of, favorite, some of your favorite moments you've had performing at all? For example, let's say you went to Trinidad, and you perform, at a specific, you know, um, you know, event, or in the States, New York, or elsewhere. Do you have anything that you would like to share in terms of where you can say, hey, you know what, I've went to Canada, I've had the best time, or I went to Trinidad, I had the best time. Anything as such for you, or you just enjoy yourself anytime, anywhere you perform?
I enjoy myself any and everywhere I perform. However, there are, there are vivid moments that really, vividly lash out that I remember distinctively. And one of those moments happened for the Diwali in New York, where I think I performed the Friday night, and I went to the Diwali show, and I performed there, and in front of a big crowd, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but the MC, he called me back, and he really really enjoyed the performance, and he even made a joke, and he said that you sure they ain't playing the CD there, and everybody was so nice. It was Diwali, and to make people laugh and smile in a Diwali performance was one of those moments that I remember. Secondly, would be performing for Bollywood bosses. So you probably know the song I did, Tanha Dil.
Mm-hmm.
तन्हा दिल घबराता है मीठा दर्द जगाता है आ जाओ तुम जल्दी से दम घुटता सा जाता है इसलिए मैंने टेलीफोन किया है इसलिए मैंने टेलीफोन किया है हेलो हेलो hello, hello. So I did that video mechanically. I did the vocals in Trinidad. Did the video in Trinidad. Didn't get a chance to meet Savita. Didn't get a chance to meet Raquel because Big Rich actually had that production going on behind the scenes. He wanted to surprise me. It's one of my biggest songs, Tanaha Dil, Telephone Love.
Mm-hmm.
And for that Bollywood boss moment, he had planned where that I was gonna come back and do that song together with Raquel John and Savita Singh on stage. And I just thought my performance was finished and I was enjoying myself, with everybody. Then he said, okay, calling back on stage. Savita Singh, Raquel John, Ashaay Manu to sing that song together with these girls. It was, oh my God, a moment. And everybody enjoyed that moment with us because it was the first time that I was meeting them in person, although the video was out for probably about a few months, if not a year already. And meeting Raquel John and Savita, oh my gosh, they are the most humble people. Raquel John is so talented. She's so loving, so caring. Savita Singh is so humble. She's the biggest star, but yes, she's so humble, so beautiful. Her aura is, her whole team, they're so respectful. So that was one of the moments that I would never forget. In my program. I have many, many more. Going to Guyana and performing with what's his name? Abhijit. Yeah, I performed with Abhijit, and he did his thing, and then I came on and I did my song, which is Kumar Sanu songs, and the crowd really, really enjoyed it. It rained a little bit that day, but people still dance in the rain. So I have a lot of Guyanese people that support me, and Jason Babulal, Mr. Kumar Tulsi, he and his team. He is the Ohio, the auto buddy from Ohio. Yeah, Kumar Tulsi. I have Kevin Fantastic, DJ Kevin Fantastic. I have my manager, in Ali's All Stars with Sean and all those guys in New York. So, and my new producer right now is from Suriname, Devin Beats. Yes, yes. So I'm, involving myself with a whole diverse team now that, and creating. Moving forward, it's only going to be exciting and loving and more dancing and more singing.
Amazing. I want to say this much. When you sang the little piece just now, just raw, no mic, no, nothing, just raw. I have to say, you definitely, without any question, have a really good voice. I want you to know
Thank
that,
you.
and do
Thank
know
you,
that,
doctor.
I understand music. I know of music, so this is not anything new to me. But like we have to kind of I think they usually say you want to make sure you give Jack his jacket, so to speak, right? So
Oh,
you definitely have it's amazing, and I mean I'm not comparing you with anybody else per se. There's only one Ashaay. There's only one blueprint of you. So
yes.
right. But the reality is, I mean, you are blessed with a really good voice, and that's a beautiful
Thank you,
thing. And
doctor.
so, enjoy those moments when you have opportunities, to kind of share that with other folks, right? Because it is a blessing. It's a beautiful thing, right? And you mentioned earlier that we people have different talent, right? So it's not the singing, and like people are there are a lot of talented people out there, right? And so when we have the opportunity to showcase it and highlight it, it makes us, feel good as well too. But I want you to know I couldn't, finish off the show by not highlighting that piece because you've done it so well. And because I've had people in the show, like with our Let's Chit Chat with Narine that where I ask people to sing a line or two. People didn't want to do it. They want to make sure they have like, special mic, to adjust the voice a little bit, things of that sort. I didn't ask you, and you just did it, and it sounded so well. Amazing, amazing.
Thank you,
Awesome.
doctor.
Good stuff. Yeah. All right. So you speaking of that though, I want to feature that same song here. So
Oh,
that way
my.
so that way we all can listen it together.
तन्हा दिल घबराता है, मीठा दर्द जगाता है, आ जाओ तुम जल्दी से, दम घुटता सा जाता है। तन्हा दिल घबराता है, मीठा दर्द जगाता है, आ जाओ तुम जल्दी से, दम घुटता सा जाता है।
Feeling lonely, baby, anytime you need me. I tell you, call me, call me, call me. I tell you, call me, call me, call me.
तन्हा दिल घबराता है, मीठा दर्द जगाता है, आ जाओ तुम जल्दी से, दम घुटता सा जाता है। इसलिए मैंने टेलीफोन किया है, इसलिए मैंने टेलीफोन किया है। हेलो 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 हेलो।
अभी तो घर पे बैठी है, अभी नहीं मैं आ सकती, दिल को जरा संभालो ना, अभी तो मिलके आई हूँ। किस लिए तुमने टेलीफोन किया है, किस लिए तुमने टेलीफोन किया है।
I said to call me, call me, call me. I said to call me, call me, call me.
हेलो
बोलो
Telephone love, you sound so sweet on the line. Telephone love, you make my day every time. Telephone love, you sound so sweet on the line. Telephone love, you make my day every time.
सताओ न देखो दीवाना बना के, आ जाओ कोई बहाना बना के। जलाता है, तेरी याद दिलाता है, आ जाओ तुम जल्दी से, गम गुदता सा जाता है, इसलिए मैंने टेलीफोन किया है, इसलिए मैंने टेलीफोन किया है।
अभी तो घर पे रहती है, अभी नहीं मैं आ सकती, दिल को जरा संभालो ना, अभी तो मिलके आई हूँ, किस लिए तुमने टेलीफोन किया है, फिर किस लिए तुमने टेलीफोन किया है। हेलो
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 बोलो बोलो ना।
When you call, I feel so good. Wish you were living in my neighborhood, so you can hang up the phone and rush on over. Take up where we left off under the cover. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Telephone love, your song so sweet on the line. Telephone love, you make my day every time. Telephone love, your song so sweet on the line. Telephone love, you make my day every time.
क्या कर कुछ नहीं समझ में आता है, मेरे बिना तुम्हें क्या हो जाता है। क्या कर कुछ नहीं समझ में आता है, मेरे बिना तुम्हें क्या हो जाता है। तुमसे मिलने को मेरा भी मन है, मेरी मजबूरी मुझे रोके बंधन है। कैसे तुम्हें बताऊं मैं, मुझसे तेरा हाथ नहीं जाता है, दिल को जरा संभालो ना, अभी तो मिलके आई हूँ, किस लिए तुमने टेलीफोन किया है, फिर किस लिए तुमने टेलीफोन किया है।
Feeling lonely, baby, anytime you need me. I tell you, call me, call me, call me. I tell you, call me, call me, call me.
All right. Very nicely done. Very, very nice. And so it is so appropriate that we are taking the opportunity to feature bits and pieces of the work that you've done. So take it away, reflect on that. I know you already spoke, a little bit about that prior to me feature the song, but anything else, that comes to mind, please take it away and share it with us.
So yes, a lot, because you have to respect the people that came before you. And this has nothing to do with age. This has to do with what's going on currently and present. And I must say, so this was like, I think this was my second song, and I didn't know what to expect, because I just came back into the into the I don't want to say arena. I came back into the music business with a little bit of old school into me from back in the day, and I realized that things changed a lot. So, I hired the best producer, and I know that he could make things happen. And what he did with this song, I didn't. I called him about this song actually, and he loved this song, and he said, "Okay, no problem, then let's do it." But what he did with it, by putting the people that he put to collab with, Savita Singh and Raquel John, they just finished doing a collab, Omede Sona, that actually got me back into the music business, because that song was so big. My wife Shari fell in love with that song, and we played that song all the time and everywhere we went to. And I don't know, probably Big Rich knew how much we love Savita Singh and Raquel John and that song, that he got two of them, as I said, who came before me, because they were eating up things. They had like 1 million+ views, and he did the song, and we were doing I think the launching, and I had no idea who was in the song or whatever was in the song. All I know, we were gonna do a promotion for an event that was coming up, and he was gonna launch this song or something like that. And he had Hunter, he had myself, and with the other people. Well, he wouldn't put them on because he wanted to surprise me. So he played this song on the radio, and when I hearing this and I hearing these voices, and I'm like, this song sounds so good. And he said, "You know who it is? You know who it is?" I say, "Wait, it's sounding like Savita Singh." And he say, "Yes, the Savita Singh and Raquel John." So to get two of the most popular artists from me who just started back, I consider myself as just coming back into the arena. Nobody really knew who Ashaay was. And to hear that I did a song with him, I was so humble and so appreciative of that. And that's one of the things that actually pivoted my career in the music business. And he himself said that. He said that you're doing great, and you're way ahead than where you're supposed to be and stuff. And I was very thankful. Not one day was I ever disrespectful or proud for any success in my music thing. I didn't know much what was happening in the new era of the music thing. So I just kind of like took a back step and just listened what I had to do, and I obeyed what I had to do, and I did my part. I was a little bit anxious, very very young. I'm a very anxious guy because I like to make things happen. And for what he did with that song, it just turned heads. It turned heads with everywhere I go when I perform that song. People will be like, "Hey, how's Savita boy? Hey, how's Raquel boy? Yeah, I want to meet them. I want to meet them." Nobody care about me, you know what I mean? But it created a narrative where my name, Ashaay Manu, came into the conversation. So I'm very, very grateful for those two guys, for Raquel John and Savita and the Pungalungs and at that time, and Wizzy and Ade Sahadeo and Tanya Rawlinson, all of those guys from the Pungalungs factory. They really, really did a lot for my music. They did magic. They took my voice and they did magic with it and created, hence the reason I'm here on your show. And again, Dr. Narine, you've pivoted from that last show that you had great success with into this new show. And I'm honored to be the first guest. The first time was last week, I believe, was the first show.
Yeah, so last week, our rebranding of the show, the Dr. Narine Dat Show,
Yeah,
definitely last week was the first one where we had Pandit Prakash on here, yeah.
a pundit, and then
And
me
so
for this
you're the first
first artist.
artist
I
per
am
se, yeah,
so
yeah.
humble and thankful for that. God works in mysterious ways because it, all I have to say to everyone is that just do what you're doing. Once you know that you are doing good, don't stop and don't let anybody change your narrative of thought, your mindset. Just keep doing what you're doing, and it will prevail. It takes a time before it does. In the beginning, it's not gonna be easy, but eventually everything is gonna fall into place. And having people like yourself, Dr. Narine, I always have that great respect for you. I always learn from you. You always have good things to say to me. It's not like you say it because you say that to everyone. You recognize the goodness in people, and I like to do that too. I like to. Why say something bad about something when you could say something good about it? Why announce the greatness in things in people rather than saying the bad things that you may observe because you don't know what people is going through at that point in time in their life and that day. But you're one of those guys who's very, very prolific in everything you do. And I ask God the Almighty to continue to bless you with great health and strength, and everything else will prevail once you have those things, because your mind is definitely in the right place.
I thank you. You have been consistent in saying some very amazing things, and I want to kind of touch on them very quickly. You are so right. I work in mental health and I work in grief. More in the background, not the front line per se. But I have to tell you, you never know what people are going through in life. People may look shiny from the outside, but people do go through a lot of challenging, situation, right? And the fact that you are speaking from that lens, it really amazes me, to tell you the truth, because this is what we see every day. This is what I'm aware of. Like, and I'm blessed in different ways to get to see those things firsthand, but people don't know, right? And then we as human beings, we have the tendency to focus on the one thing that's not going so well, or we look for the one negative things, and we kind of put all of our energy there, and we really try to hammer people out based on that one thing. And I'm glad that you're recognizing, though, because we have this skill set to put a positive spin to things on this show, and we will try our best based on our skill set and based on experience to focus on people's strength and their ability and capability and so forth, and not worry about everything else. Because at the end of the day, honestly, as of today, I have never met any perfect person. If you've met a perfect person, send him to me, because I've never met any perfect person. Right? Nobody, no religious leader, nobody's perfect. And I think and actually I'm amazed, because like I have that kind of skill set, because professionally I do those things. And the fact that you're speaking, along that line, it amazes me, because it is it's true, it's a beautiful thing. And I think if we continue along that line, honestly, we'll have less problems in society. That's for sure. So I hope that you
Yes.
continue to be the wonderful person you are. Um, Having said that, though, is there any specific project that we can expect from you? I know this is just the beginning, of the new year, but what can we expect from Ashay? You have really you've made a comeback. I know you've had about a 50 minutes break there, and you focus on your own personal growth and business and so forth, but you've made a comeback, and you've made a name for yourself. I can tell you that for sure. Right? What can we expect from you in terms of new project?
So actually, that is a very interesting question because I almost ran late for the interview because I just came back from the studio.
Mm.
2025 this year, it's going to totally be different. It's going to be different in the sense that I have more time. I'm more relaxed. Things are more into place now. And I'm going to be bringing out a lot of songs. I just finished my first one, the vocals for my first one, and it's going to go out to my producer. I'm working actually with Devin Beats right now, and I can't wait for that song. So I'll be flying to New York. I have my first big concert show, sorry, in Flamingos Mantra in New York City, in Queens, New York, on the 8th of February. It's a pre-Valentine show. That's when they're going to hear the best of me because they're going to hear some beautiful Kumar Sanu. They're going to hear all my hits and all that kind of song on the 8th of February, pre-Valentine show. And that is again going to be at Flamingos. I'll be doing 2 music videos that weekend. And yes. So imminently, I'll be releasing a song. My first song is going to be released in the middle of March after the carnival. And then we're going to do something big. It's going to happen. I'm release another one in that would be in April. So a lot of things. I want to at least do about 5 or 6 songs this year, Dr. Narayan, because as I said, things are in a better place right now and I'm more focused. I understand what's going on, how it's supposed to be done. And I'm going to bring the best out in a different angle, try to touch in different beats and there and experiment and bring the best out to everyone. And I want to say, we, the artists, we are nothing without you guys. Because if you don't show us that love and listen to our music, um, we are just singing on some empty mics, I should say. So that's why I try to personally encourage artists that coming out. I promote a lot of artists because again, it goes back to what you were saying just now. Why not announce the greatness in people? Why say wait till somebody flawed with in some
Mhm.
way, not of
Yeah.
their fault, and make that the highlight. Let's highlight talents because there's a lot of young artists and sometimes there's simple things in life that can discourage you. So don't be discouraged by nothing because I like to say this, create your own self, but you have to visualize what you want. If you
Mhm.
can't see what you want, then you're not going to be focused. You're not going to be focused on something what you're looking for, your goals in life then, but you have to work towards it every day. Do something positive towards that. And once I'm around, I will always encourage people to continue doing that. And sometimes, listen, you could motivate yourself. You don't need people to do that for you. And once you reach to that point, like how I motivate myself with exercise, you find something that you can motivate yourself. then you are a winner all the way. You will win, win, and always win.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, so we have a few minutes more, but let me take the opportunity to say hello to a few folks here.
So,
Balika, thank you so much for taking a sneak peek. We appreciate you. Very, very talented singer in New York City. And we have had her on our old show, the Let's Chit Chat with Narine Dat. But obviously, Balika, we are rebranding. So this is the Dr. Narine Dat Show. Hopefully, we are going to have you on here as well, too at some point. I hope that you're doing great with your family and your two kids and so forth. I also want to give a special hello to Nadira listening and watching locally here in Cambridge. Cambridge is one of the cities that makes up the region of Waterloo. For those of you who live locally here, I know the region has grown. We have over 1 million people live in the region of Waterloo, so it's
wow,
no longer a
Cambridge.
small. It's not no longer a small region. That for sure. Yes, Cambridge, Kitchener, Waterloo, have grown so much over the years, and the demographic has changed as well too. Wendy's from, I believe, Fleur, I'm not too sure. Forgive me here, but they speak very highly of you here. I could tell, I could read between the fine lines, which is a beautiful thing. At the end of the day, Ashay, it is so important how we carry ourselves in society. And you mentioned that earlier, right? You mentioned about staying focused. You were speaking my language, buddy. It is so important for us to stay focused. Of course, there will be challenges, there will be noises and so forth, but we have to make sure that none of that, right, hold us back from really moving forward, continue on, from doing the things that we are very much passionate about, or in one sense fulfilling our purpose is what I like to say. We have about 6 minutes for the show, and I want you to know that we reach out to you because we see value in you, not only as a singer, to tell you the truth. You are really good in what you do. There's no deny about that. Nobody can steal that away from you, right? That's a
Thank you.
gift. That's karma, right? So you are enjoying that, like in this life. Like that's what I believe, anyways. But I have to say, your positive attitude, the respect. When we met last time, a few years ago, 3 years ago, we didn't know each other obviously that way, but we end up doing that interview. And I have to say, your professionalism, even your messaging, like when I look at the messaging that you say, like, when we are corresponding, there's always something grateful. I can see that you're giving gratitude in those messages very consistently. And even though you're trying to show appreciation to me, at the end of the day, it shows the kind of person you are. I want you to know that, right? Because it will be irrelevant to me of whatever conversation, or whatever wording or however you communicate, because you are representing yourself. I'm my own self. But when I see things like that, it really it draws my attention because at the end of the day, it's things that fits with your values. Maybe the way you were brought up. I don't know how you were brought up, but you have some really good stuff in there, which I would encourage you to continue on. Be who you are. Don't change a thing about you because this is what is needed. Not only in the singing industry per se, but it needed in life, it needed in business, right? It's needed when you're interacting with people, and you have that. And it's a skill. Sometimes you just cannot go to school and learn it, right? It's something you really have to be conscious. You have to being able to put yourself in other people's shoe, and it's such of a high kind of level skill though, and you have it, and I recognize it, and it is a beautiful thing. I want you to know I recognize that,
Thank you,
and
doctor.
and we have, like I said, we are doing things differently now. We are vetting people. We are not going to have any and everybody on the show per se. But we do know when we bring somebody on the show, it means that we have seen a lot of good things in them. Not that because we see good things in everybody. It doesn't matter what the situation is, but we have to be mindful of the people we bring on the show as well too. So you have about 3 minutes to kind of anything you want to say. This is this is your time, this is your space. We will continue that conversation. We are giving you an open invitation to reach out to us. Use us as a lifeline if you get stuck in life, because that's where our expertise lies. So if you get stuck and you don't know what direction to take next, this is a safe space where you can reach out, and we will be very pleased to kind of get you back to the right path, things of that sort. Take it away, take your time. Take the spotlight, and anything you want to share. This moment is about Ashley. Take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Narine. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to Dr. Narine, to you and your team for choosing me to have me on here. It's a great, great honor. And I want to say thank you to everyone who listens to my music and who appreciate the things how I things I do and how I do it. I want you guys to know the reason why I do what I do and how I do it is because I care. Once you care about yourself and you care about people and you care about the world, you are always going to treat everything around it with greatness and goodness. Because you always remember we have life now, but we don't know how long we're going to be alive for. And we don't know how long we're going to have the gifts that we have for. We could lose things. Everything can be lost in a second. So use every minute of your life to tell people thank you. Say please. Say excuse me. Be kind. Hi, good morning. Those things go a long way because we don't know what people are going through in this life. Every day is a different narrative with something going on here, something going on there. So not everybody's going to be happy. And not everyone is going to appreciate what you do, but you got to be focused in life on what you want out of life and do all the things because nothing comes easy. You got to be the hardest worker in the room. You got to be doing stuff when nobody's watching, doing the good stuff when nobody's watching because that tells the character of you. You know, everybody, I always end with love and respect all the time because if you have love and respect for someone, that's all you need to have for them. You know, life is a gift. Life is a gift. This body is a gift. And I would like to say that, you know, the window, anything we eat depicts how we're going to be. The window to our body is our mouth. And whatever we eat, that is going to depict our health, our motivation, the charisma, the anxiousness to get things done. So we have to get out from that sedentary state that we might be in and do some sort of exercise. You know, push yourself with the exercise. Make sure you get to that point where it's not normal, you know, and that is going to develop your brain. Your brain is going to develop and it's going to love and appreciate everything around it. So do you be yourself, be grateful for every good thing that happened because in a second you can lose it. And being laid back and taking things for granted never, never, ever works. Don't let money ever be a motivation. Then you lose the essence for what you are doing anytime because you're going to lose everything that you have to do to get that money. And you're going to focus on the money and everything is going to go crazy until you get that money. So money, it's a necessity, but it should never be a motivation. What should be a motivation is your health and your strength. Because without your health and your strength, nothing can prevail. Today, tomorrow, you get sick and you end up in the hospital bed and you can't move. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have do that 20, 30 push-ups. What it is I have to do. But when you look back at yourself and what you did, nobody's perfect, but have that mindset to get yourself physically healthy and everything else will prevail. And when it comes to music, the reason I'm always smiling and I'm always happy is because singing is God gave me a gift, a voice to sing, and I share that with the world. And that brings so much happiness to me that nothing can really, really make me sad. Do some push-ups, you know what I mean? Keep myself active, sing some songs. This year, I'm really, really looking forward to it. But I am nothing without you guys. And I will continue to bring my best. And thank you so much for loving me. Love and respect all the time. Yours truly, Ashaay.
All right, thank you so much. We will have to have you back specifically for this whole physical, body piece for sure. I think you will be a good contributor to it. We have a fella who he will come, on the show to talk about the importance of exercising and all of those types of things. And I think you'll be a good fit to make some contribution there. But we'll talk about it afterward.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
I want you to know that again. I want to say it again. Do know that we appreciate you. And I will wrap it up officially in a second. But I want to also take this opportunity to say hello to Sonia, watching all the way from New York City. We've had Sonia on the show here as well
Hi,
too.
Sonia, Chandy.
Yeah, so I just thought I acknowledge her, and there's so many other people, but do know like we appreciate all of you. So as we are approaching the end of our program, the Dr. Narine Dat Show, do know that we appreciate all of you. The whole idea of the Dr. Narine Dat Show is to create a positive space for is create a safe space rather for positive energy only, nothing more than that. And that's what the difference is. We're going to continue to have guests like Ashaay. So as we are officially approaching the end of the program, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for tuning into the show on behalf of myself, on our very talented guest, Ashaay. Both of us would like to join together and wish you a
Yes,
great today and even a better tomorrow. We'll talk again soon.
definitely.
Next week, Sunday, you want to join us? We have a young lady joining us. Coincidentally, she happens to be from Trinidad, a young lady, Vandy. You don't want to miss that. I hope,
Okay, yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, she'll
man.
be
Very
joining us,
talented
and is a
young.
very talented
Yes,
young lady. It is
yes,
so important for our people to support each other, right? So hopefully you can join us next Sunday,
definitely.
6 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern New York, Ontario, Canada time.